You wake up, it's a completely normal morning. You reach for your phone, no messages, no notifications. You look outside, no cars, no people. You turn on the television, nothing. You call your family, no answer. You call your friends, nothing. Then you realize something. You're not alone because everyone is sleeping. You're alone because everyone is gone. Every human being on Earth, gone. 8 billion people, vanished overnight. No explanation, no warning, and somehow you're the only one left. At first, it might feel like freedom. No traffic, no bills, no work, no rules. You could walk into any store, drive any car, go anywhere, take anything. But then, you realize something terrifying. The world was never designed for one person, and the moment humanity disappears, the countdown to civilization's collapse begins. For the first few hours, you might actually think you're incredibly lucky. Imagine having an entire city to yourself. You could walk through empty streets, enter abandoned restaurants, take a luxury car, stand in the middle of a highway without seeing another person. But then, you'd start looking for answers. You'd turn on the radio, nothing. Television, nothing. The internet, maybe still working, for a while. You'd search for news, government announcements, emergency broadcasts, anything explaining what happened, but there would be no one left to answer. And then you'd realize something. You don't actually know if you're the only survivor. Maybe someone else is alive, on the other side of the planet. So you'd probably start searching airports, hospitals, police stations, cities. But every place would be silent, and eventually, the hope of finding someone else would begin to disappear. Here's the first major problem: electricity. Most modern power grids require constant monitoring and maintenance. Some systems can operate automatically for a while, but without humans, failures would eventually begin. Power plants would shut down, backup generators would run out of fuel, electrical substations would fail, and one by one, the lights would start going out. Imagine standing in a skyscraper, looking across an entire city and watching every light disappear. Suddenly, the world becomes much darker and much quieter. But losing electricity would create another problem: water. Most cities depend on complex systems to move clean water into homes: pumps, treatment plants, pipelines. Without people operating and maintaining those systems, they would eventually stop working. At first, you might still have water stored in buildings, bottled water in supermarkets, water tanks, reservoirs, but eventually, you'd have to find your own source. You'd need to learn how to purify it, store it, and protect it, because now you are completely responsible for your own survival. And that's when the biggest problem begins. You can't rely on the systems that billions of people built together. You have to replace them by yourself. Now imagine what happens after humans stop maintaining the world. Grass grows through cracks in the roads, plants take over abandoned buildings, trees grow through windows. Without traffic, without construction, without humans controlling animal populations, wildlife would begin moving into places it once avoided. Animals would return to cities: deer, wild boars, coyotes, birds, and eventually, predators. Some species would thrive, others would disappear, but the world would slowly begin changing without us. Roads would crack, bridges would weaken, buildings would deteriorate, and eventually, the cities we built would become ruins. But there's one thing you would have to worry about much sooner: food. At first, you'd have an unbelievable amount of food: supermarkets, warehouses, restaurants, freezers, but most of it wouldn't last forever. Fresh food would spoil, freezers would eventually stop working, and canned food would eventually run out. You'd need to learn something humanity has been doing for thousands of years: growing your own food. Farming, hunting, fishing, preserving food. But there's a problem. You'd be trying to do all of this alone. And that's where the psychological reality becomes even more terrifying. Imagine going one day without hearing another human voice, then 1 week, then 1 month. You could talk to yourself, talk to animals, listen to old recordings, watch movies, but none of it would replace another human being. Humans are social creatures. We built civilization around connection, family, friends, communities. Now imagine every conversation you've ever had has become a memory. Every voice you knew is gone. Every person you loved is gone. And suddenly, the biggest danger isn't hunger, or darkness, or wild animals. It's the silence. Because eventually, you'd realize something. You're not just the last person alive. You're the last person who remembers what humanity was. So, what if you woke up tomorrow and everyone on Earth was gone? At first, you'd probably think you had won. The world would be yours. Every city, every car, every building, every piece of technology humanity ever created. But slowly, the lights would go out, the water would stop, the food would disappear, nature would return, and civilization would begin to collapse. And eventually, you'd understand the truth. Humanity's greatest achievement was never the skyscrapers, the technology, the cities, or the machines. It was the fact that billions of people were doing their tiny part every single day. Someone keeps the power running, someone maintains the water, someone grows the food, someone fixes the roads, someone answers the phone, someone is always there. Remove everyone, and the entire system begins to disappear. So if you ever wake up and the world suddenly feels strangely quiet, you might want to check something before you panic. Because the scariest possibility isn't that everyone is gone, it's realizing that you are the only one left.